All right. Hello, everybody. I'm not usually probably not gonna do any intros like this most of the time. Loki, kind of just want to get on here and just yap. I know a lot of people when they talk about therapeutic things, they always say like write in the journal, but this is my way of you know, saying things out loud and maybe seeing if they make sense. I don't have a script. Um, I'm just gonna try to stay as authentic as possible, and I'm just gonna say whatever comes to mind while I warm up. I'll probably call this series like warm up talks or something. Um, anyways, today I'd like to say the topic is kind of grief, maybe depression. Can't really specifically speak too much about that. Don't take me as an expert. I am not an expert. I am a 19-year-old boy. So I'm just speaking through my own experiences, if I'm being honest. Um, I feel like a lot of us nowadays, we're so easy to name problems that we're having, like, you get your heart broken and you start avoiding relationships. And what is that? That's the avoidant attachment, anxious attachments, all these type of styles. And one thing that I notice about people that are hurt most of the time, their first instinct is always, I should go hurt others. And I don't understand why that is made into such a popular belief. I mean, you go on TikTok, you'll find girls talking about some cheating on their boyfriends, and honestly, I can't even say that romance is a lost art because I truly don't know if romance was ever even a thing. You know what I mean? I mean, I personally don't have a lot of love surrounding me. I mean, I have physical love. My parents would show me physical love, obviously, by caring for me, paying for my college and, things of that nature, getting me a car. That's great. But a lot of mental problems I feel like I can't even really talk about to my parents because it doesn't really feel like they're truly listening. It never really feels like anyone's truly listening. That's why I don't even feel comfortable having this talk with like any of my friends, even though they're great. Don't get me wrong, my friends are great. I love playing Siege with those guys. Those are my guys. But you know what I'm saying? Like no one really knows how to help each other out through problems. And I can't say I do either. I mean, I never had someone, comfort me through certain things to the point where I feel like I can help someone out through the same problem. I mean, you know, I feel like I'm a very logistic type of person. I mean, that's how I was raised. My parents, when they were telling me something, when I feel any type of thing, it was always, you're just too young. You don't really know what you know. It's better. You're going to go through this. You're strong, la da da, you're smart. So it's always just been focused on studies. Whatever you're feeling now will pass by. And that's kind of the ideology that I pass on to others. But it's weird because now I've had so many experiences, and I for a long time I thought I was unlucky. I mean, it's things with like my mom, things with girls in general. Starting off, I wasn't the best looking. You know what I mean? So I developed a personality. That was the only way I was gonna get liked. Because yes, lookism is a thing, and if someone tells you it's not, it definitely is. Because I have lived both sides of the world. I'm not saying I'm the most handsome guy on the planet, but I've definitely, taken care of my looks a lot more, and I've noticed a drastic change on how people treat me. And that personality, you don't need much personality or need to show as much of yourself for people to like you once you start becoming better looking, even in guys and girls, and not even in like a romantic way. It could be friendly. And I slowly start to realize that I can't even blame those who act according to their looks, especially those who have looked good their whole lives. Um, I mean, they would develop an ego. I've seen how easy it is to develop an ego, to realize that no matter what you do, that people will always be there. You know what I mean? It isn't the better looking you are, there'll always be someone that can tolerate your shit, and that's made so many bad people nowadays. I apologize for the language as well. It's made so many bad people who have terrible morals, which I can't even blame them for. But it's always built from something, and it begs the question: is it even possible to build a child who wouldn't have such a problem? I mean, if you had a good child, how would you raise them to not have an ego? It's kind of just a thing that comes once they realize that people will be there no matter what. They realize they can act however they want. A lot of these questions I can't even answer, because I truly don't know. I've talked to a lot of people who have been good looking their whole lives, and they think that a lot of people have been there for their personality, but I personally think they're the most boring person ever. They have no type of substance. And again, who am I to say something like that, obviously, but I personally think that a lot of people who are good looking their whole lives have no type of substance because their life is truly just built on how they look, you know? But I don't know if I'm really straying off topic. Again, I said I was just gonna yap, and it was supposed to be about depression. But if I'm being honest, I don't really want to talk too much about my situation because I don't want to be one of those people who, like, I'm not saying I'm gonna get famous, but I don't want to have people just like my videos and try to help me out. You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of something I want to figure out myself. But recently, can't lie, financial issues, not in my family, but as in myself, it's just crazy, dude. I mean, I want to work more, but working a lot just makes me feel like a robot. And it's not like there's even hours for me to grab for me to work more. I mean, I have school, and even that in itself, you know what I mean? It just feels like such a hassle. It doesn't make sense that I've spent 19 years of my life in school, and it's like 19 years of my life that I could have spent living. I mean, it's not really 19 years, but you know what I mean, you know? Like, there's no way that this is what life has become. A lot of people are just gonna work themselves to death. Sorry. Like ants. Like, we're all basically just ants. We work ourselves to death. And I know when I was a little kid, we all had those dreams. I want to become a famous basketball player, rock star, soccer player. And like, even though, a lot of people, in this direction now would say our parents crushed our dreams. But if we're being honest, they are the most realistic. Like, obviously your parents should strive you to do things that you wouldn't even think about, or like just kind of try to make you reach any type of goal. But if we're being honest here, reaching the NFL is not a very realistic goal. And this, again, could be my logistical thinking, and a lot of you might disagree with me, but it really is not a realistic goal. And I can't say that I'm mad that I didn't get to pursue that, but I do wish I was able to go for that a little longer. I wanted to play volleyball for a long time, but we just didn't have the financial for that. And my goal from then was, if I can't live the life that I want to make sure that my kids do. I wanted the dream. I wanted the dream of becoming like a millionaire. I wanted to become a millionaire as well. But now I feel like I want to be financially free. I want my kids to be able to pursue whatever they want. And I want to be able to support them no matter what, logically, emotionally. I want to make sure that my kid is set for life. I don't want them to be someone that goes out and hurt people. And even though no matter what, it is inevitable that you will hurt someone, even he could be the best kid in the world. A girl ends up liking him and he doesn't like her. He breaks her heart and says no. That's still hurting her. But I want to raise my kid, and I want to give him what I wasn't able to get myself. I just want to make sure that he's all set. And that was a lot of my motivation. But now it feels like I would just be fine moving to like a third world country and honestly just getting a house in the farm and just live. It would be great to have a wife and things of that nature as well. But I mean, I will. I can't lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and be like, oh, I want to live alone. No, yes, I want a wife. Yes. But it's like all this work for like a high paying job, and it's crazy. Like, a doctor gets paid less than someone that runs a football. Like, that will always be so crazy to me. That will always be so crazy to me. And it's just so crazy how this system has revolved around like sports and stuff. I mean, you've seen the New York Knicks. Everyone in New York was outside on the streets, and like, there's nobody, like, no one's doing that for like protests, and that's a whole nother topic. We're not even gonna get on that. Back on depression. Okay, I'm yapping. You see, now you guys are starting to see what I mean by I just yap. This is no script. I'm just going raw. A lot of us tend to hold in a lot of stuff to ourselves. You go through things and you think it's better to hold it in, and maybe you just don't have anyone to talk to, and you're probably sitting here thinking, well, why is he telling me that? This kid's literally talking to himself in a room, roaming up on seed. Yes. But I highly, highly, highly advise talking to people, because letting your emotions build will do nothing but harm you in the end. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, but it does lead to memory loss. And of course, don't take me all like serious to that, but I'm pretty sure it does. And if I'm talking from true experience, it generally just sucks holding in all those emotions, I mean, if I'm being honest, throughout my whole high school, I mean, sophomore year, dude, I would go home at night. I just lay in my bed and I would just cry. I wouldn't even know why. I'd just cry about not seeing my real dad. I'd cry about my mom. I'd feel like my mom hates me. Every night I'd just go lay down in my bed and cry. And like, it started off as like kind of like a sad thing, but like, I slowly become more succumbed to that sadness. I started to like it, It was kind of like a daily routine of my day. Like, I would just cry before I go to sleep, or cry myself to sleep, honestly. And like, I'm not trying to make you feel bad for me. I'm just, again, this is supposed to be like a journal type of thing. Yeah, I mean, and I can't lie, I'm pretty sure that a lot of it really had to go back to love. I didn't feel loved at all. I mean, my mom, obviously I love my mom and things of that nature. She really helped me succeed and, built me great, but she was just so strict in the sense that I feel like being strict and not having that mental, like support can really like damage someone as a whole. Personally, I feel like I've developed kind of a healing era between that, but I don't know, like all of the things that she did were great. I mean, making me run, it made me hate running, but it was great technically for my physical. But it just, when it's something is forced upon you, it just feels like a punishment more than like a goal. But obviously, as I grow, I start to see like what her point was there. But I just wish I had a little more, mental support. Would have been a bit of great. Would have been great. But I started chasing love in others. I started becoming a people pleaser. I started making jokes in class. I started being the loud kid, the one that would never stop talking, because I felt that if I stopped talking, I'd be alone with my thoughts, and that was the last place I wanted to be. I never wanted to be in my brain because, like I said, I'd probably start crying in front of everybody, and I wouldn't even know why. I wouldn't know what is causing me to cry, you know? And slowly but surely, I started looking for that romance in women. Once I figured out that, couples and things of that, I was like, okay, I want to find that love in people. And, since I wasn't a great looking guy, there was not many girls that had a crush on me. So I started tying that to, okay, these girls don't like me. A lot of people, my friends kind of don't seem like they like me. Like I wasn't the best at the game back in the day on Fortnite. So, I'm getting hate from my friends for being trash. I'm not getting love from at home, I'm feeling like, and like I'm not getting love from girls. I felt so deprived from this thing that it seemed like everyone got seamlessly. It seemed like it was just always there for everyone else. They were dating girls and they were going on dates, and I was just alone at home. My friends would leave me and go play arena, and I'd be so butt and trash that they wouldn't even want to play with me, and I'd just be sitting there in my PlayStation lobby listening to music, wondering why I'm not good enough for everyone, why I can't be anyone's first choice. And, I wasn't the type of kid where I took it personally that I looked bad. I mean, I knew I looked bad. If you were to tell me I was ugly, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I was pretty fugly, bro. Like, I was pretty ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't take a defense. And I slowly started to become chubbier. And I noticed one of my coping mechanisms is eating. Just eating, eating, eating. And I can't lie, as of recent, I have been eating a lot. I would eat a lot of junk food. I would start craving sweets. I'll start craving really anything that I can even digest. And I slowly started to get chubbier, but I started to lock in. That was really a sad phase of my life, and I think it was really when my depressions really started to kick in. But I kind of got a handle on myself, and I started loving myself, because even though I didn't have someone that would love me, I knew that if I didn't love myself, I would truly have nobody. Obviously there's the Lord, Heavenly Father, and I don't want to press that upon, because some people might not be comfortable with that talk, and I want everyone to be comfortable listening to this video. But without love for myself, no one would have love for me. I felt like, so I had decided to just focus on myself, start loving myself. And one thing that I noticed about loving yourself, or loving yourself out loud, is a lot of people will take that as you being overconfident. You tell someone, wow, like I look good today, like someone will take that as, oh, he's flexing, or he's being overconfident. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's true to insecurity. I don't understand why some people just can't hype you up. And you always notice that a lot of people that will hype you up are always people that seem to be ahead of you, Like I've noticed that, like, and I'm not saying the people that would not hype you up are below you, but if you're with a good looking person and you say I look good, they'll be like, hell yeah, bro, you look good. Or like, imagine you started skating. Skating culture is very welcoming most of the time. And you land an ollie, and for the first time, and the dudes are gonna hype you up. Oh, yo, good stuff, man, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. And whole time they're landing like tray flips, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just like, some people, I don't know if it's jealousy, insecurity, but like, or maybe it's just the people that I was around, but it just felt like when I was trying to be confident in myself, and obviously I've learned that confidence isn't loud, confidence is silent. It just felt like maybe I was tripping. Like people weren't like, they were reacting so negatively. They're like, bro, no, you're not, like, la da da, shut up, bro, like, la da da. And like, even on jokes, like it hurt a little bit, But slowly but surely, going into junior year, I started to, get a lot more confidence, working on myself, fix my hair and things of that nature. And it did make me feel a bit better about myself. I always assumed that once I got better looking, that things would just become better. And once I hit senior year, girls started liking me, DMing me, and I started posting on TikTok, started getting a lot more traction, and I started pulling a lot more attractive girls who were more my type. But one thing that I noticed is that nothing got better. I mean, sure, yeah, I was getting, I liked the girls, but like, and there was girls that was liking me, but it always felt like there was something like it, and then it goes back to luck. My friend always had like good luck dating girls, but I always felt like I had terrible luck. Like, I personally don't think my morals are that strict, but like, it just seemed so hard to find someone that just followed those things. And I don't know if it's picky or whatever, but I mean, really, it would really truly be hygiene. I'm always big on hygiene. I want to make sure that you kind of have like a goal, or like you're at least working towards like a career. A lot of people nowadays kind of just don't know what they're doing, and that's not bad. I'm not judging. I'm not saying that's bad, but like, personally, I feel like I would want someone who is at least striving to be something better than themselves. Someone that kind of cares about their health, and want maybe goes to the gym, and even if they don't go to the gym, they at least kind of watch a little bit of what they eat. They care about that type of stuff, because the stuff that they eat will affect their kid, and the stuff that I eat will affect my kid. That's why I don't like smoking. I mean, you can smoke like, I don't know, weed maybe every once in a while. At this point, I feel like I have to say it's okay at this point, because so many people do it that it might just be impossible to find someone that doesn't do it. But I want to make sure, again, that my kid really lives the best life that he possibly can. But after getting all this attention from women, I realized, first of all, I will say it right now, I've never been in love. I've had one ex, a lot of talking stages that I probably couldn't even count, because I am just so, I guess, quote unquote, picky, you know? But I've had multiple talking stages and really only one ex, because, and obviously I'm not going to name drop because that's just strange, but I just I didn't feel comfortable with anybody. And I feel like opening up has never been hard for me, but so it's not like a problem of I feel uncomfortable opening up to them or anything like that. I'll tell them everything that's happened to me, but I don't know. Really don't know what it is. Maybe I think truly what it is, I think I have a mix of attachment issues. And again, this is kind of going against what I said, the naming your stuff, but like, I'm really I try to name my things, my problems, so I can fix them. I feel like it's a mix of attachment issues and there's another one, but it's like being afraid. Commitment issues. That's what I have. I think I have commitment issues, and obviously, I'm not gonna be the type to say that and not try to fix it, because there is people out there who will say I'm avoidant and won't even work towards fixing it. And I feel like the first part of fixing a problem is identifying it, but now you have to work to fix it. I definitely have a lot of problem committing to people, because I just feel like I will be betrayed. But then again, it always ties back to something. Like, I feel like I always have a really nasty habit of trying to find what's wrong before anything gets too serious, so it doesn't end up hurting me in the end. Which, I know it's terrible. You should love everyone for their flaws, but after trying to be perfect for so long, I would assume I want to find someone that's perfect in my eyes. Not perfect in everyone's eyes, but perfect in my eyes. But it's hard for me to accept that not everyone is perfect, And maybe that's the problem. I keep trying to find someone that is so hurt like me that they do whatever they can to become better and perfect. But maybe I just got to find someone who will, I don't know. I really haven't figured that part out. I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. I'm really figuring out as I'm telling you right now. And if you cannot tell, my MBTI is ENTP, even though, I'm not the stereotypical ENTP, but based off how I'm yapping, that type of stuff. But yeah, I think even now, I'm not going to act here and act like I figured it all out. Nothing's really changed. This is probably the best looking I have been ever, and life feels worse than it's ever been. I mean, if I'm being honest, I've never felt so alone, and like, it feels like once you reach a certain stage of how you look, like, it's almost like you don't even know if anyone really truly wants to get to know you, And like, on occasion, like, a girl might not like me back, and I'll just take that as I'm not good looking enough, It just feels like I was happier before all these things, like, even though I was crying and things like that, I felt happier. was a time in my life that I just felt absolutely great, and I felt like I didn't need anybody. I love myself and I love my friends, but then I really don't know what happened after that. I met a girl, it didn't end up working out, and it just slipped me back, way back into the same pattern of looking for love, you know? And if I'm being honest, I highly struggle with lust as well, honestly. But I wouldn't say I'm a lustful person. My lust is it's always rooted to the feeling of wanting to be loved. And for some reason it just feels that when I go to that, it's like the secondary love. It's a secondary love feeling, you know? Like someone wants you for you, wants your body, but they don't really, you know, they don't want you. They want your body, you know? But I feel like this episode is getting a bit long. I'll probably end it there. I'm not really big on like, oh, like I really hope this goes big and you know goes viral. Again, like I said, this is just a journal for me. You know, be able to speak out my feelings and hoping that it will at least help me feel a bit better. Not really sure what my goal is here, but if you watch to the end, I really do appreciate it. I'm not gonna really plug my channel. You know, like to like and subscribe. You're free to do whatever you want, and that is not like a reverse psychology. Like I'm serious. If you really do think this video helps, I mean, great. You should subscribe. You should like. But I'm not in any way trying to make any sort of money on here. And if I do, dude, amazing, great. That's great for me, you know. But this channel is really just for just talking. And I maybe later on in my life, you know, I've planned on making a YouTube channel where I just vlog my life. It was gonna be called Life with Jay. And it was gonna be like when I go on trips with my friends and just vlog that type of things, you know, just show that there's a better side of life outside the 9 to 5. To show that even when you work a 9 to 5, you can still go out and live your life, and you shouldn't really trap yourself in the societal standards of just staying inside and working and working and working and working and working until you're dead. That's my biggest goal. So I appreciate you guys watching. I apologize. I am not a champ in Siege. I am only a gold. I've peaked in plat. So if you were watching my gameplay and you're like, what is this guy doing? Feel free to leave some tips in the comments if you want to. Again, I am looking for a stack. Low key. I have 3 people that I play with. I'm trying to advance up, but it's been a little hard. But I appreciate you watching the video again. I hope you enjoyed my yap sesh. Not quite sure how long this video is, but if you think it helped, I'm glad it did. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time, whenever that is.